Hi, I'm Sam Payne, host of The Appleseed, an hour filled with stories for you and your family. And we're not talking about news stories here. We're talking about fairy tales and folk tales and personal stories and family tales and even a little music from time to time. And each story could spark a memory for you that you can share with the people that you love. Hear The Appleseed every Thursday at noon, right here on the information and cultural beacon of the Four Corners, KSJE, Farmington, New Mexico.
Hi, everyone. I'm Scott Michlin.
And I'm Megan Culp.
Inviting you to join us for our COVID-19 Community Information Program every Thursday.
Each week, we hear from local experts, community leaders, and more.
So join us Thursdays at 9 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and every afternoon at 5:06 p.m. on KSJE. KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, here to meet your urgent and emergent medical needs, whether they are COVID-19 related or not. Medical emergencies happen when you least expect them. Whether it's a stroke, heart attack, illness, or injury, San Juan Regional Medical Center's caregivers are here to provide care to you and your loved ones. Find out more online at sanjuanregional.com. "11 minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Monday morning, May the 24th, 2021. Good morning, everybody. I'm Scott Michlin. Thank you for tuning in to KSJE this morning, 90.9 FM here in San Juan County, New Mexico, 103.3 FM across the state line in Durango, Colorado, and streaming everywhere from our website, ksje.com. Welcome also to our viewers across the globe who are watching us live this morning as the video is streaming to the KSJE YouTube channel, our Facebook page, and our Twitter account. We're glad that you are with us this morning, everybody. Glad you're here, because coming up in the next few moments, my guest this morning from the River Reach Foundation. We are talking about different events planned for this weekend. Riverfest is not happening this year, but instead the Animus River Jam will be taking place along the Animus River in Farmington Saturday and Sunday. We'll talk more about that coming up in the next few moments right here on KSJE. Then, of course, later on this hour, I'll be talking technology at 8:50 a.m. with Lewis Campbell from Synergy Computer Systems here in town, so stay tuned for that. And then, of course, next hour at 9:06 a.m., it is our classical music program with Mick Hess. And Mick is featuring the person you see on the screen right now. That is composer Laura Kaminsky on the show today at 9:06 on Roving with the Arts. You'll enjoy some of her music today on KSJE. Don't forget, of course, in addition to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, you can also connect with us on our other social media platform, our Instagram page as well. Outside our studios here at San Juan College, it is a sunny morning, but chilly. It is warming up, though, now 47 degrees outside our studios here at San Juan College. We are expecting a mostly sunny day today. Less winds, thankfully, with a high of 75 degrees. Clear again tonight with a low of 39. It'll be mostly sunny and a bit warmer tomorrow with a high of 81 on Tuesday. Partly cloudy on Tuesday night with a low of 47. Then partly sunny skies on Wednesday with a high of 79 and a low of 48 degrees, sunshine, and 83 degrees on Thursday. And I know what my guests are watching is that weekend forecast. So Saturday, sunshine, 87, and Sunday, partly sunny with a high of 84. Looks like perfect weather for an event along the Animus River. And that will bring me to my guests who are here with me this morning. Deanne Waters is here, the president of the River Reach Foundation. Good morning, and thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. Also joining us this morning, Bob Leamer, one of the founders of the River Reach Foundation. And Bob, always great to have you here as well. Good morning.
Good. Good morning, Scott.
Thank you for being here. And so, as I mentioned, this is not Riverfest, but it is something that you wanted to do for the community, I think, along Memorial Day weekend. And so we have the Animus River Jam to talk about this morning.
Correct.
Talk to me about that. This is a music and food event, Deanne, right?
Strictly music and food.
Okay, well, two of my favorite things. So I'm right there. You got me at music and food.
Yeah. It's going to have. We'll have some really nice music. I think a nice blend of different types.
Right.
And food at both locations, both Rocky Reach and River Reach Terrace.
Okay.
So people can enjoy the music, bring their own chairs and blankets because we won't be providing any tables or chairs because of COVID restrictions.
Right, and so it's going to look a little different
Yes.
than Riverfest.
Yes.
And so we should make sure everyone understands that. So, but there will be food available. There will be music, but it's there are some low walls you can sit on. I
Yes.
think around some of the performance spaces, but no actual tables and chairs like maybe or tents like we're used to
Right.
seeing in years past.
Correct.
Got it. And so you've got entertainment set up at the usual spots along the trails, correct?
Yes, we have them at River Reach Terrace at the Little Pavilion, and then at Berg East, Rocky Reach Landing
Okay.
there, and then the Andean, what is he called? Andean music
Andean.
in the,
Okay.
in the middle.
In the middle. Got it.
By the playground.
Got you. And so as we're looking at the map I'm putting up on the screen, that would be around, you said Rocky Reach Landing, right, which is number 4 on the map, and Berg East, which is number 2 on the map, and then, of course, the main Berg Park area, I guess, there, right by Scott Avenue. Is that
Right.
the other location, the pavilion, which is right there,
And it's a nice grassy
gazebo.
area there for them people can sit on the area
Right.
grass.
Yeah,
Nice.
which is nice. And so you mentioned some of the music, and so will some of the bands be names maybe we're familiar with from past River Fests?
There are some, I think, that have played in the past. I know Black Velvet has been in the past. The Jelly Belly Boogie
Okay.
Band, I believe, has been in the past.
Right. Very good. Bob, do you have some others? Nice. And so with that, it's going to be Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
And so what are the times? Because the times are a little different both days, right?
Yes. Saturday, it's from noon to 7:30, and then on Sunday, noon to 5:30.
Got you. And this is a free event,
Free event.
and so folks can just come and go.
Come and go
as you like.
as they like, and enjoy the music, have some food. There will not be any other vendors there.
Just the food
Just
and the
food
music.
and the music, yes.
Got you. But a free event, and anything you want to pay for is going to be just food, I guess, is going to be
That's
available,
right.
right? So there you go. But should be good weather, so we're
Hopefully-
excited about that.
hopefully, yes.
And the river is moving, and so that's great. Will be great to see. And this is kind of one of those events. It's a little bit of a transition event as we figure out and navigate the COVID world and what you're able to do and what you're not able to do safely. And I imagine that's been a part of your conversations of the River Reach Foundation to try to plan something for Memorial Day weekend.
We were so disappointed, to have to cancel Riverfest, but that decision had to be made in November.
Right.
And
who
in
knows
November,
what it was going to be
we were
like.
still in the height of the pandemic, so we made the painful decision to cancel it for the second year.
Right.
But it will be back on the 2022.
You're already talking about it, you were telling
yes,
me, right?
we are already working on 2022.
So
yes.
set your calendars, everyone. May 2022, Riverfest is back.
Yes,
Probably bigger than ever.
I hope so.
Yeah, so wonderful. But you're also thinking about maybe an event this fall, which we want to talk about too a little bit, because you're going to be asking folks for their opinion. And anything I've noticed over the past year, folks are not shy about sharing their opinion about almost anything these days. So what are you asking for?
Okay, we're going to be conducting a survey, asking the people what they like about this venue, if they would like to see it come back, and we'll give them a little incentive
Okay.
to answer the survey. We have 2 drawings, so they have a chance of one of 2 drawings. One would be from the 2 new companies, local companies that are launching over the Memorial Day weekend. One is the Desert River Guides. It's
Okay.
a rafting company. They'll be
Bob
providing.
brought me a T-shirt.
Yes,
I'm
you
gonna
might.
I'm gonna show that while you're talking. But go
Okay.
ahead.
Yes,
Right. The
the
Animus River Guys right here.
Animus River Guides.
Look at
It's
that.
Cody and Ryan Dudgeon, and they will be providing a rafting trip for 4 people
Nice.
as
One of the prizes,
one
right?
of the prizes.
Okay.
And then the other one is another business that's called Black Bear Unlimited. It's 4-wheeling, and they will be providing a guided full-day tour
Nice. Very good. So all I have to do is enter the survey, give you my opinion of what I think of the Animus River Jam, this music and food event along the river, and I'm entered to win one of these two
One of those two
prizes.
drawings that we will announce over, I think, in the following week.
Gotcha.
It'll be announced on Facebook. And
Right. Very good. And so the plan is maybe if folks like this music event, we may see more of them, sponsored by the River Reach Foundation, I guess is what you're saying.
We're hoping in the fall, if they like it.
Okay.
And we're also going to ask what they would like to see
Right.
with this type of venue. So give us a little idea of what we can expect
Sure.
and if it would be viable to do it again.
Okay. Very good. Bob Leamer, let me bring you into the conversation. As I mentioned, you are one of the founders of the River Reach Foundation, and so really because of the work of you and the other 12, right, folks
That's right.
that founded River Reach, we have these wonderful trails and open spaces along the river in Farmington, because originally, for folks who were maybe too young to remember, the river really, like in many other communities, really wasn't seen as an asset to the community. It was just that thing that cuts through town, and a lot of industrial areas backed up to it, and now it's completely different
Totally different.
in an amazing and wonderful way. And so thank you for, founding the River Reach Foundation and the work that continued, because that was a few years ago, right?
1986.
Okay, that is a few. And so there's been a lot of work since then. And so now we have the benefits of all of your hard work and the others to enjoy. And so this event this weekend is one of those things that we get to go down and enjoy the river.
That's right.
So wonderful. And so this being a little different, it's not Riverfest, but it certainly is an event designed to bring folks to the river in a safe and responsible way, to have some music. I mean, that's a great thing to be able to offer.
It's going to be great to get outdoors again,
No kidding.
and our sense of community. Our rivers are really the backbone of our community.
They definitely are. They bring so much to our town, from recreation to water. And as Dan was talking about, these two new companies that are kind of going off on this outdoor recreation push that a lot of organizations are backing. And Farmington, I think, is in a great spot to offer some of these things, because it's so close to, it literally cuts right through town. It's not just close to town, it's in town. So, and you were just on the river yesterday, you were telling me, right? You had a nice trip along the San Juan.
That's right. Oh, it's a gorgeous spot. We started at Westland Park, put in and took out at Lions Park in Kirtland. It's about a 2.5-hour float. Wonderful views and high sandstone cliffs on the one side, and wildlife on the other side of the river.
Wow, nice.
And it's just really a wonderful half-day event. So
Very nice. And it's something there's no trails in most of that part of the river, right, that we can enjoy just yet, but but to see it from the river, it really gives you a different perspective. And I'm sure there are a lot of these companies that will take you on a tour along the river, right?
Cody and Ryan Dudgeon have started the Desert River Guides group, and they're going to be, their maiden voyage is this weekend.
Okay.
And they'll be taking people down the river. It's very reasonable. If you go on the Animus River, it's an 1.5-hour trip, and it's only $20. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Much cheaper than anywhere else.
Right.
And then if you go on the San Juan, it's a longer tour. It's 2.5 hours, and that's $30 a person. And it's well worth it. It's
Nice,
beautiful spot.
calming trip so far, right? I mean, there's no rapids, you were telling me.
Well,
or
the
things
Animus
along that.
has rapids,
The Animus does, that's right.
and the San Juan has no rapids.
Okay.
It's just a float trip.
You can pick your adventure,
That's right.
I would think, depending on what river you choose.
Yeah.
But definitely a different perspective, and that was the one thing that I noticed when I took my river raft ride at a previous Riverfest, of just traveling through and going under the bridges and just seeing the town and the city from a different perspective. You mentioned the big sandstone cliffs that, of course, we're familiar with, but I don't know if we're familiar with them being right in our faces at the river.
That's right.
That you see when you take some of those trips. So that's wonderful. Yeah. So that's one more thing going on that launches this weekend, literally launches this weekend.
Correct.
these two businesses. So we wish them well and much success, because again, and for locals, I think folks should take advantage of some of these things. And then when someone asks them, a tourist says, what is there to do in town? You have some suggestions.
Yeah. It's a truly a family adventure, and something that's very safe.
Right.
And it's being outdoors and seeing the beauty of the town from the river.
That's right.
It's totally different from seeing it from Main Street or Broadway or
Or the bridge as you're driving over it.
That's right.
There you go. Very true. And I imagine if you're a little kid, your eyes just get really big and wide when you're going through all these different places.
We had a little kid with us.
Did you?
Yeah.
And?
He enjoyed it
I
very
bet.
much. Uh-huh.
Probably speechless,
Yes.
except for the cool things to point out. So there you go. It is the Animus River Jam. It is happening this weekend along the Animus Park and Animus River in Farmington. It is put on by the River Reach Foundation, of course, and they'll be asking you your opinion about this event to maybe see if another one may come back in the fall. But Deanne, you're saying that no matter what, there will be a River Fest, as we're used to, next May 2022.
Absolutely.
Okay, but maybe more events too. And the goal of the River Reach Foundation, Bob Leamer, remind us a little bit about the work that you all have been doing since 1986.
Well, we were
Thank
back
you.
in 1986 when we founded the organization. Of course, the rivers were our backyard,
Yeah,
and it was full of old cars to protect against erosion.
I was going to say not nice restored old cars, rusting half in
Yes.
river, half out of the river old cars.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was full of vagrants, too. Now it's safe, and it's a very pristine area. Wildlife flourish, down by the nature center. That's something that everybody needs to go and visit, the
Right.
nature center.
True.
Feed the ducks and the deer, and I don't think you can feed the deer, but you can feed the ducks.
You could definitely feed the ducks, true. And I think, again, another gem that, someone's calling you. Another gem that we have right in the middle of town,
Right.
which is another thing that most towns and cities of our size can't say,
That's
to have a nature center right smack in the middle
right.
of town. And so that's important. I'm looking at the trail right now. And so these trails that we see on the screen right now grew from the work of the River Reach Foundation, right?
right.
And
Well, back in 1986.
somebody really wants to talk to you
getting
about it. That's all
I'm
right.
trying to.
That's all right.
I'm getting a phone call.
That's okay.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Shouldn't have-
You're a popular guy.
Yeah, back in 1986, Bob Hudson was our parks director, and it was his vision to create an educational thing from along the river. And so we started with the planning of the museum, the Red Barn, the Nature Center, and all the plazas were going to be outdoor events for the schools to use to educate children about the beauty of the rivers.
Right.
And, so it all connects.
And we see that today. I know,
Yes,
and
we
I know
do.
those trails are used every day. If you go down there, people are biking, they're jogging, they're walking, they're taking the dogs down there. I mean, it's been a great resource in addition to the city. I know, and visitors are always amazed, I think, at the extensive nature of the trail system, which has continued to be expanded since that first batch that were put in, right?
That's right.
I think, too, if there is an upside from this pandemic, I think it brought more people down to the river.
I think you're right.
So it seems to me there's a lot more activity than we've seen in the past. And I contribute that to the people wanting to get out
Right.
of their house in a safe place, and it is at least safe to walk down there.
True. And to be out in nature and kind of see what it's all about. And if you're working from home and you're tired of those four walls, what better place to go than down to our beautiful river, right?
Or you've eaten too many Twinkies at
That
home.
can happen when you're working from home too. I agree with you. The break room is not too far from the desk, so
Right.
that's what
Yep.
happens. So very, very true. But the trails have kind of extended, and I know there are plans with working, of course, with the city has been a great partner with the foundation, right, to make all these things happen. As you mentioned, Bob Hudson, former Parks and Recreation Director, then City Manager, and I think, was able to get a lot of these things happening. The voters, the residents, I think, approved some of the initial funding to start those plans for the trail system. And so I know there are big, grandiose plans to extend them in both directions, right? I mean, I think, wouldn't it be great to be able to walk or go on a trail from here to Aztec or
Right.
the other direction, Kirtland or Shiprock, eventually?
That's right.
But that's part of the long-range plans, is it not?
That's right.
Okay, very
A lot
good.
of plans, and we hope we make some progress in the next few years, and we are. We have Among the Waters Trail. We're going to be connecting to our current trail system, I think probably by September, October.
Right, and that Among the Waters, for folks who maybe aren't familiar with it, one of the newest sections goes to the confluence of the Animus and San Juan rivers, which is another great thing that we have in our community, these two rivers that join forces and move on to the west as a San Juan. But a lot of folks, I don't know if they've been there, and there's now a great trail that takes us there, and there is actually some work the city's been doing just this past week, right, putting in some new bridges, footbridges down there that I wanted to show everybody as well, because we were able to do a little borrowing from Facebook and the city's Parks, Recreation, Cultural Affairs, but you can see some of these footbridges that are going in at the Among the Waters Trail, and that will, it starts basically along 371, just as you cross the San Juan to the south, is that one end, and then eventually you're saying, Bob, it's going to link back to the east into the current trail system around the Boyd Park area, or that little extension that goes west from there.
Right.
That's the best of my geography as I have on a Monday morning, but
Yeah.
that's how it would work. But very exciting, and this is all part of the River Reach Foundation working with the city to allow some of these things to happen. And I know a lot of landowners have maybe donated land or worked out a deal to have their land then given to the River Reach Foundation, which in turn can work with the city to make some of these trails possible.
That's right.
And that's what we're talking about.
Well, the Garcias got a big plan.
Yes.
Maybe Deanne can talk about that a little
Oh,
bit.
please do.
Yes.
What's the plan?
Well, the Garcias are going to be doing a new memorial. It will be the Baton Death March Memorial, and it will be on the land that they have donated or sold. I'm not sure if they sold it or if they donated it, but they're real excited about
Nice.
starting that memorial, and it'll feature mainly the San Juan veterans that weren't marched in the Baton Death March, and that I think is going to be a huge benefit to the trails to be able to
Another landmark, right?
Yes.
To go to, and this we've determined is going to be to the west of kind of the Boyd Park area, which is right near the Murray Street Bridge, along the trail that runs underneath that bridge.
Yes.
Is that the kind of
Yes.
the location?
And they have big plans to make that a wonderful memorial. So,
Nice. Wow.
Hopefully that'll bring in people from all over New Mexico, because the Baton Death March was mainly the National Guard, a lot of which was from New Mexico.
Right.
So it was Albuquerque, Gallup, Farmington, this area.
Big impact, right?
Huge
from
impact.
from that historical event
Yes.
that happened, and so so that will go along with the other All Veterans Memorial
Yes,
Park, which is
right.
already a big landmark
Yes, it is.
along the trail system, and certainly is visited by many every year. And so again, this will be a great another great addition. So
It will. It will. And we're excited to be working with the Garcias on this, and I think it's going to be a wonderful addition to our park system.
right.
It will bring in people, I think, from all over, because it will be advertised
Sure.
with the Baton Death March that they have reenactments sort of at White Sands every year. So that will bring a lot of people that usually go to that will also come up here to
Nice.
our memorial.
Very good.
So it'll be good.
Yeah, indeed. And the map that I'm showing right now, again, the River Reach Foundation has published this map about the River Guide. And so as we talk about these new companies that are starting the river trips and guided tours along the river and things like that, the rivers are open to others as well, right? I mean, all you need is a seaworthy vessel to put in and take out, and off you go. But that's what this map kind of shows you, is some of the better places to put in and take out, and what to watch for along your trip down the rivers. And I know folks do it all the time when the weather gets a little warmer, maybe than this morning at 37 degrees. But eventually, it's going to be a
Eventually,
nice,
it'll be-
refreshing dip and trip
Yeah.
in the water. So there you go. Before we run out of time, I want to recap a little bit about the event this weekend. It is the Animus River Jam. It is not Riverfest,
Right.
but it is certainly another music and food event that the River Reach Foundation is offering on both Saturday and Sunday along the Animus River and in the Berg Park area. And so food and music, right?
Food and music.
And tell me again the times
Okay.
when they'll be offered.
Okay, Saturday from noon till 7:30, and Sunday noon to 5:30. So there'll be 4 bands at each, both Rocky Reach Landing and River Reach Terrace on Saturday, and then 3 bands on Sunday at both places.
Very good.
And then the Andean flute in the middle.
Kind of in the middle of the trail.
Yep.
Got you. And food trucks
Yes.
are going to be at both locations, both ends of the park?
Yes,
Is that
there
the
will
plan?
be food at both ends, and there'll be not a whole lot of trucks, but enough. People will be able to get something to drink, something to snack on, something to actually eat.
Right.
So they'll have a nice blend, I think.
I can still eat my way from east to west or
Yes,
west to
you still
east.
can
It doesn't
eat your way
matter.
through there,
Okay,
yes.
good to know. Very good. And the other thing that folks should know is maybe if they're used to Riverfest, there's not going to be the tables set up, the tents and things like that. So it's kind of a bring your own.
Bring your own blanket, bring your own chair. There's especially at Rocky Reach Landing, there's a nice wall that people can sit along.
Correct.
That kind of meanders around that area. And then at River Reach Terrace, there's a nice grassy area that they can put a blanket down and have
Right.
like a little picnic
Nice.
and enjoy the music.
Very good. And Bob Leamer, again, do you have a favorite spot in the grass to go enjoy the music at these events every year? You're usually too busy running
We're always
around, I
moving
know.
around, but
yeah.
yes, we have favorite spots. We hide out.
I bet you do. That's wonderful. Well, we're looking forward to it, and I know, again, to try to plan an event during this past year has had to been challenging. So thank you all for the River Reach Foundation for putting this together and for at least offering something this weekend, which I think has been the plan, right?
Yes.
Of
I
trying
think
to do.
Well, we want people to be able to get out and enjoy the river,
Yeah.
enjoy the scenery, support the local food trucks and the bands and new businesses that are starting, launching.
Right. Very true. And if they haven't been down to the river to really see what we have in the
Yes.
middle of town.
Oh, it's beautiful. All the wildlife, just don't feed the deer.
Right? True.
I think we have some signs out that by the Nature Center that says, please do not feed the
Right.
deer. We don't want
Ducks
to
are
make
okay.
them. Ducks are fine.
Yep.
But the others, not so.
Not so
So
much.
fine, yeah.
That's right. But I imagine you might see some if you're
Oh,
down
yes.
there because they're there.
They're there.
And they were there first, so that's how it goes. We share that area with the wildlife. So
There's some good photography with them. I've seen on
Very
Facebook
true.
quite a bit of people's photos that they've taken of the deer and the ducks and the wildlife there. And
true. It's almost hard to take a bad photo along
it's
the
hard.
trails.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to
along
take
the
a
river.
bad one.
So that's very true. Well, thank you both for coming in this morning. I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to the Animus River Jam this weekend. And again, come and go.
Come and go.
Stay the whole day. Move from park to park to hear the different bands, or follow your favorite around. Maybe if they're going to be in multiple locations. But
And fill out the surveys
right.
to be entered into a drawing. Both are good prizes.
Okay. Very
They
good.
will help both our 2 new businesses that are local.
Very good. And you'll have like a little booth or something to
Yes.
show to tell people about these drawings, the surveys. Pardon me.
We will. We'll have a little information booth at both locations, and we will also have some students, volunteers, walking around,
Okay.
asking people, handing out the surveys, asking them to fill them out, and then drop them off on their way out.
Gotcha.
And
And
you
it's
have
really
to fill out the survey in order to be eligible for the drawings.
That's the key. Understood. And it's really just a survey about this event, right?
Yes.
What did you think? And
Yeah.
so it sounds like it's going to be pretty short.
It's a very short survey. It's only like 5 or 6 questions, and
Nice.
it's mainly, do you like this event? What do you like? What would you like to see?
Nice.
How did you hear about it?
Okay.
You know, type.
That answers KSJE, everybody.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
But there you go. But
you
that'll
go.
help you for
Yes.
planning future events.
Yes,
So,
it will.
Wonderful.
It will definitely help us.
Very good. Well, again, thank you both for coming in. Bob Leamer and Deanne Waters,
Thank
always
you.
great to see
Thank
both
you.
of you.
For
And
having
good,
us, Scott.
good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
And looks like great weather, so it'll be great to get down by the river again and
Yes.
enjoy some wonderful music and food. So
food.
we'll be there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you very much. My guest this morning from the River Reach Foundation here on KSJE.
The tech industry promised to improve its diversity and equity over the past year. Has it delivered?